Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me today for another video discussion. Today, I want to talk about the stuff that's been going around about Nintendo seeking more mature games. And truthfully, this is something that I'm stoked about. Um, People have been reporting that Nintendo is more open and seeking more mature games than what they have in the past. And, it makes sense. They learned a lot from the Wii U, like I said before. And I believe that with the Switch being as popular as it is and the fact that it's a portable, they really want to try to bring in a different demographic of people who are like me that grew up with Nintendo. I mean, clearly they've seen it with the NES Classic. Just a slew of people who bought it for nostalgia. So I'm sure that there are a ton of people who are my age or older that grew up with Nintendo, have played them their whole life, love their franchises, love their games, love their IPs, love their ideas, and really just want to see more from them. This is the reason why I love games like Breath of the Wild, that they reinvigorate that series. They breathe new life into it. They do something different with it instead of just doing the same formula over and over again. It's nice to see stuff like that. And I think the LA Noir is probably the best example of a mature game. I mean, anybody that's played the original LA Noir knows just how much adult content is actually in that game. So the fact that that is coming to the Switch really shows that Nintendo is pushing towards mature games. And you know what? I think that it is a good strategy. I mean, first of all, one, you're showing people that, look, this has got everything for everybody. We're not just a kid system anymore. Yeah, sure, we have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle for the kids, but we also have Doom. We also have Wolfenstein. We also have LA Noire. They have these mature games that are coming. Now, with that said, I don't want them to go too far with this. It's not something that I want to see them start instantly making every single one of their IPs mature. But I think that it could work for some games. After all, Metroid is a great one that's been thrown out there about making Metroid mature. Because, yes, there are a lot of dark themes within Metroid. Stuff that I've talked about before when I've tried to defend Other M to people. A lot of dark stuff in there if you really read between the lines. And it would probably, instead of reading between the lines or looking for connections back to other things, bring that to the forefront. Make it very, very obvious. Even with the Prime series, it is very close to pushing mature. You just have to really make it a little bit darker and a little bit more. But that being said, I don't want it to just be mature for the sake of making it mature. I don't want them to go overboard with the violence and blood everywhere, space pirates and stuff like that, just for the sake of making an M-rated game. But I do want it to be mature in the fact of, like, look, there's subject material in here that is going into a different territory with Samus. We're talking about her past. We're talking about, a theme of morality or something like that to really make you think about this as a mature game. And I think that it's also a good option because it's the kind of thing that you can get parity probably with systems. For example, good example is Wolfenstein, a game that's not even out yet. It's coming to PS4 and all the major platforms, including the Switch. So that could be the kind of thing that going forward, if Rockstar says we're going to make another Grand Theft Auto game, they could consider the Switch as well because they already have Alien Noir on the Switch. So it wouldn't be outside of Rockstar's realm to release a mature game for the Switch. And so I think that that's a really good way of doing it, although really it's a little bit weird too. And one of the reasons why I think it's a little bit on the weird side is because we've already had mature games show up before in Nintendo systems. It's not a super common thing. It seems to be more common now in the Switch. I mean, just within the announcements recently that we've gotten 3 mature titles. And that's usually more than you get in a 3-year time span for some Nintendo systems. So it is a lot more than usual, but we have had mature rated games in the past. I mean, most recent one I can think of for the Wii U was Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. There was also Zombie U that was on the Wii U. So there have been mature titles before, and even back in the Wii days, we had Mad World that was mature. There was a Dead Space game, even though it was an on-rail shooter, it was still a mature rated game, if I remember correctly. Dead Space Extraction. So we've seen mature rated titles before. I don't think there's any on the 3DS, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why we have this weird thing going on, is because the Switch is technically a portable, so they want to make it more accessible and maybe not have as many mature rated games on there. But at the same time, they also want to make it accessible for everyone. So it's a portable, which has some kid games and some more family-friendly games. And it also has mature games for the mature gamers, in case they want to make it strictly a home console. There's all kinds of options, and that's what's so great about the Switch. But at the same time, we have seen a lot more mature-rated games show up than usual. Again, I can't think of any that have shown up, except for maybe Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS. I don't know if there's been a lot more outside of that. You're always welcome to correct me in the comments down below. I'm sure there was something that I'm not even thinking of. And yeah, on the GameCube, I know there were some for a fact. And I think there might even been one on the 64. I think. Can't remember if Perfect Dark was rated M or if it was T for teen. I'll have to do more research on that. But one of the matters that we have had mature games on Nintendo systems before. It's nothing new for me, at least, because I've always been the kind of person that's jumped to Nintendo. When people have said it's just a kid system, and point out how they're wrong and name mature rated games that have shown up before on Nintendo consoles. But I will say that there is some legitimacy to the argument, because there's not nearly as many. But at the same time, though, it's nice. It's nice to have that balance, because, I don't want every single game that I play to be mature. I do want to be able to play games in front of my kids and play games with my kids. And so it's nice when you can get a game like Mario Odyssey that comes out that's multiplayer, so I can play it with my kids, and I don't have to worry about covering their eyes because I'm playing it. At the same time, though, I would like to see Evil Within also. Games that are mature that I can play by myself, that I don't feel ridiculous necessarily. So it's a good balance, I think. But I think that's going to be everything for now, guys. Appreciate you watching, as always. And feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Love to hear what you guys have to think about Nintendo seeking out more mature games. Are there any particular that you would like to see come to the Switch? And we need to try to be a little bit realistic, because there are some games that I believe are too graphically intense for the Switch. Even though the Switch is a fully capable machine, it's just not as capable as something a PC can handle. I'm fully aware of that. But what games would you like to see come to the Switch? You know what? Forget it. What games do you want to see come to the Switch, regardless of whether you think it's technically probable or not? What games would you love to see if they came to the Switch? And also, what do you think about anything, really? As far as Nintendo seeking out more mature games, do you think that they should seek out more games? Do you think it's just a ploy to attract more developers, which of course isn't bad? Nintendo is on a good track with that right now. Or do you kind of just miss the old days when Nintendo just did their own thing, and you want them to focus more on first-party content? Love to hear what you guys have to think, what you have to say in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, as always. I'm sorry for my little bit of stuttering at the end. I'm usually bad at endings. I have no idea why I'm bad at endings in these videos. But thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one, and I'll see you next time.